guys, I'm Sync.
And I'm Echo.
And we are back once again playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, Emma came up to testify about SL9 and her role to play in that. So it's been a while since we've recorded. As a reference, this is March 29th. And we finished Ace Attorney back in January
16.
And so it's been a very long time that we've played. And so the original episode, we had to re-record this. This is a re-recording because our audio failed and I didn't notice it until like halfway through March. I mean, not March. Yeah,
don't look at me. I don't know.
So yeah, it's been quite a while. Time has passed. I have braces now in college, so that's a thing. But going back on topic, going back to the game because that's the focus of the channel. We're gonna be continuing to play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is
not so blind anymore, but...
Not so blind, but, I mean, it has been an entire quarter since Echo played, so...
An entire quarter is enough time for me to forget everything, actually. I remember the gist of everything, but specific stuff, I forgot.
Like the solutions to, the
I don't remember the solutions at all, so this is a day.
So, don't worry, there's gonna be 2 episodes worth of this, because it'll be about an hour.
And a half.
Yeah. And this will be 2 episodes, and then you'll get back to previous Sync and Echo talking up a storm and doing their thing blind. So, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's do it!
Okay, Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed forward toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
This certainly is most unusual. Try impossible! The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year.
That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin cross-examination.
Stop! Please don't pursue this any further.
Well,
Lana!
What is the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
Do we ever see the bailiff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter.
Alright.
Because I tried to recollect, like, all my voices.
So let's check in our... I say inventory, but...
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So we got Goodman's ID, Ace Attorney badge.
No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. Okay.
Halberd was removed. Murder weapon.
No prints. Record the parking stub. I don't understand what that's for, but okay. Dead Blue Badger. Autopsy. 1 knife wound died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Victim memo, it's for the case. Cell phone muffler. Parking lot flag. Okay. Crime photo. Victim shoes. Switch knife. Belonged to the other case murderer. Luminal testing fluid. The ID. Where we got almost everyone except for the last one, who is, what's his name, Gantz.
Yeah.
The fingertip screwdriver brought back to Ed's office by his Gantz press. Lost item report. I remember that.
Floor plans.
Floor plan for the evidence room.
Rubber glove.
Rubber glove. Each locker is unlocked. Locker. Unstable jar. Marshall prints.
Which I don't think will be a thing that we need to worry about in this case.
I don't think we need that either.
SL9, that'll probably be important.
Serial murder, science death. The victims, that weird thing. It's just weird. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses. There's only 2 witnesses. Other investigators, more investigators. That single stab wound piercing heart lung.
Go back to the SL9 instant files, yeah, and go to the second page. I don't know if it's a reference, but the third victim, Jeb Bates, that may be a reference to I'm gonna screw this up, but Bates Motel, I think. It's from the movie Psycho.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I would.
And it's the iconic scene where the woman's in the shower, the curtain's pulled back, and you got the knife going whack, 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 whack.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that might be a reference to that with Jeb Bates. Obviously, maybe not the first name, but Bates, being Bates Hotel.
I'll take your word for that. I didn't watch that. There's the picture.
With the halberd in it.
Evidence
list. The remaining half was found at Gant's desk. Check that. I think because it should have, yep, both of the drawings.
Oh yes, the drawings. Strip of cloth found in cheap dancing. Bear his fingerprint.
Yep. Alright, cool.
Okay, press. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? I could really see where it shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you...
Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife.
But just as we... but as we've just theorized... Wow. Okay.
Wow, I don't know, because it's been too long.
Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Okay, so it was after we figured that out. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help Mr. Marshall. What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur.
In a matter of just a few seconds, Miss Guy was almost killed. Then she was a witness to a murder about to take place. A little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next?
A flash of lightning.
You saw the blue badger.
Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here.
But the head detective of criminal affairs thought up this hideous beast, and that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at this police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before, somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother. Just when you thought that that thing has caused us enough commotion.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, emotions as well, but still.
Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken.
That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, show us and please tell us what this shadow really was.
What was it that Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really? I might know. I'm not sure. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, I might know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamed up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright.
In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger lookalike.
Okay, it went there automatically, but yes. The unstable jar.
Yep.
The mysterious blue badger was in fact this.
But that's, what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed it doesn't.
As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from.
Alright.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. I think I rotated it wrong.
No, you're good. It's gonna... I'm gonna go ahead and it's like this. Now, this is a very finicky puzzle, and you did have trouble with this last time. You got close.
Okay.
But it was at the wrong angle.
Last time I remembered. I remember. I automatically went to the jar.
Yeah,
this
you
was
did.
Something that's not new. I saw it immediately.
Yeah.
And I knew it was the
So
jar.
that might be pretty close. But this is sort of what you're going for, yeah.
Yeah, I think here. That's good.
That's pretty...
Very close.
Maybe a little bit more because you have the point. There. Okay, maybe down more than... Other way. Oh. Other way. Yeah, about maybe like that. Okay. Go for a sec.
Okay, let's try this out.
But this is what you generally want, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. Well,
is this a miracle or what? Oh my god.
Phoenix.
This just comes back and haunt us.
Yeah.
No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. Hi, blue badger.
No. It can't be!
He's haunted by it just as much as we are.
Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Of course.
Although we enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar?
I remember this as well. The location.
Location?
Yeah, because I believe they've been saying it was on the Lana side of the room, but the jar changes everything.
That's correct.
The
yes.
jar is on Kant's side.
Kant's side.
Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar.
Not only that, but she saw it at a very specific angle.
How? Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant.
Yeah. But the body was found lying next to Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Objection! Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually could transpire. You see, the struggle between Dart and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office?
Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Exactly. And there. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
Oh boy. I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness testimony. She says she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have to been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf in the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
Yes. And since the man who was knocked in the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been Neil Marshall, wielding the prosecutor's award.
No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking.
Yes. There's another possibility of what actually could transpire in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as this defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming that the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall,
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? One day, that flashback, that scene, there was no narking of the jar. The suit of armor is actually quite a distance away from the table that holds the jar.
Sure.
Even if Neil Marshall got hit that suit of armor, it wouldn't have hit the table and knocked the jar in the air. At least according to how the scene was transpired. Because I believe that it wasn't knocked over, the suit of armor?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but it would have. I think it would have.
No, if the direction of the
right,
impact,
no, yeah,
it
impact it was
hit,
back, not
hit,
forward. Yeah,
it would have hit back toward more like sideways. The suit of armor is like facing perpendicular.
Right, yeah.
It would have if he did land it directly toward the front on the sword lance, whatever.
Sure.
It wouldn't have hit the table with the jar.
Right.
It would have hit the floor.
Right.
No!
Well, I've never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think that it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that, coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edward, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proved my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If you don't have evidence, then we'll just have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incidents are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Unless you get a medium to come and channel their spirit and then help us with this case like she always does.
Yeah. Not in this case we can't, yes.
This all has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. The finger waggle.
Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. Somehow.
That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. Can we zoom in? Yeah, it's there. I remember this part, but I still wanted to check in case.
Right.
And besides, the other options makes no sense because then it just kind of stall everything, and they're like, Phoenix, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
Because it's always, Phoenix, you're a dumbass. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? And a finger waggle.
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us this piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
Let me just... Okay, that's too far back. There's nothing here. Okay. Unstable jar and there. This is a message left by the deceased.
Is that blue badger from before?
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragment was not wiped away.
Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once lines?
Those are some perfect dots for something being wiped away.
Yeah.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the line's directions changed.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim message will become apparent. No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these blood stains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given circumstances. The murderer's name.
Alright. Use our touchpad, our touch screen.
Okay. Wait. How do I erase stuff? Oh. Goody. Alright. I forgot. I can't erase stuff. Is there is there a back? Oh, there is a back.
There we go.
Because clearly I don't remember how to connect the lines. I need to go back to like elementary school or whatever. Okay, there. And take that. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove his client's innocent. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I would never have thought it would turn out like this.
Not like this.
Emma.
So, this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
Was Emma Sky.
Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dock was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death.
Wow. That's so innocent.
Right.
So maybe the final murder wasn't his, but then he confessed that he killed the other 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Ensure his conviction.
I thought he confessed. Why was there having a trial?
Yes, he did confess, yes.
But he still had a trial with a defense attorney and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, that happens all the time.
I don't know. I thought if you confess, like, you don't have, like, a trial to prove you're guilty. I guess. Well, I guess Lana.
Exactly. Yeah, Lana confessed.
I don't understand this. Yeah. I don't. Okay, whatever. I should never go to law school. But Joe Dart really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. He don't give a fuck.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What? Yes, what?
Yeah, we're merely the keepers of the law.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
So now, the government's just incompetent.
Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge.
Why would... Well, I think I talked about this last time.
Yeah.
But why would the prosecutor in charge be in fault if he didn't know, but it was the police department themselves that gave him forged evidence without him knowing so?
Right.
The fault shouldn't be the prosecutor.
It's
it
on
should
the
be
police.
the police.
Yeah.
Because the police are the one to be like, yeah, this is evidence, and the prosecutor is like, okay, I trust you on that. I'll take this and use it against him. Because he didn't know. If he knew and he made the forgery, that's one thing. Then it would be on him.
Right.
But he's not the one who did it. It was the police department. The police department should be at fault, not the prosecutor.
Yeah. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
I just said otherwise, okay. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it was his fault?
Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows.
To be continued.
To be continued.